Hello and good evening, and welcome once again to Better Than Before, live in the evening on Facebook. At least it is evening here in Ecuador where I live. And I am Dave Edelstein, and I am here to talk to you once again about relating, communicating, and all of the things in between, including very often mindfulness. Um, and wow, it looks like we have a lot of activity of liking there. Hi, Zach. Um, and we've had a really interesting, lively, and deep discussion today around a post that I wrote about, or a question that I asked about whether we should really dig in and save our relationship or whether we should let it go. And the fact of the matter is that there are times for each one, and there are people for each one. You can't always say, without knowing the situation, what one should do. There's always an assumption that, for example, that both people are of relatively normal or within the normal range mental health, that they do not have personality disorders, for example. And well, it's often a mistake to say that a person is their personality disorder. Some people do have very dangerous, antisocial, anti-relating personality disorders that suggest that a relationship should be abandoned. I started this series actually a few days ago, talking about relationships that should not be saved, and I started with the theme of unapologetic infidelity. I didn't really talk that time about repeated infidelity, which sort of implies that there's no real apology, but that's a strong reason to say that a relationship is not workable, because one person is just not committed, not caring at all about the feelings or well-being of the other. Abuse is another issue that would definitely be a deal breaker. If a relationship has devolved into abuse, where one partner is regularly, actively, continually abusing the other, it shows that that partner does not have as a goal that this relationship be workable, be fair, be equal, be. It shows that one partner thinks that the other partner should, in some sense, be his or her slave. That's not a relationship. That's not a love connection. That's not love. It's not respect. It's not workable. Abuse can, of course, take many forms. The one that perhaps we hear about most often is physical abuse. There are even many forms of physical abuse. Really, at the point where what is supposed to be a loving relationship devolves into physical violence, it's over. That's not why two people are together. One of the primary ways for a relationship to continue to be functional and to grow is an assumption of security and safety. If one partner injures the other, hurts the other, there can be no sense of safety. There can be no sense of trust. You never know what's going to happen next. This is not a relationship that should be saved. If someone came to me as a relationship coach and said, X, Y, and Z has happened, and my partner has hit me, I would say, I will not help you save that relationship. I will work with you about why you're in it. I will steer you towards resources in your area, hotline, emergency help, violence prevention, the police. But that's not a relationship I'm going to help you save. Your partner has problems that I cannot fix. Hitting someone that you are supposed to be in love with is a deal breaker. Abuse can take other forms as well. Sometimes it's calculated, icy, cold, cobra-like manipulation of one partner or another. Sometimes it's not as calculated. It's just something that, because of elements of, again, personality disorder. When I say personality disorder, I'm talking about these character-based wrong interpretations of life that cause people to see other people as things or as objects, not equally human to themselves. An example of something like this is antisocial personality disorder, but that's not the only one. I don't want to devolve into cliches about this. But when I talk about personality disorder, I'm talking about a category of mental illness that it's very, very difficult, if not impossible, to treat because it's so fundamental to how the person views the world, views other people, views life. And if you see other people as objects, as things, it's very hard, if not impossible, to participate in a love relationship. People talk about charming psychopaths. Yes, that can be a syndrome. That's real. But they're psychopaths. They can't see their partner as fully human. As a result, this gives them permission in their own minds to treat the partner like a robot, a slave, a means to satisfy that person's own, the abusive partner's own pleasures, satisfactions, and needs without any regard to the other person. Again, this is a relationship that at least needs a rest until someone can see if this person can be helped through psychological therapy. Very often, this kind of disorder cannot be helped. And in a relationship where where people are supposed to give to each other, it can be very difficult for this psychologically troubled partner to draw the line at always accepting and never giving. Relationships can be saved when both people have enough healthy psychological wherewithal that they're capable of really caring about another human being. You can't do it without that. Yes, I've talked about commitment as being the secret, and it is. Among people who are psychologically capable of making, pursuing, and acting upon commitment, who know what commitment is and are mature enough and psychologically stable enough to deliver it. It does not apply. All bets are off when one partner sees the other as an object and is prepared to psychologically or physically batter that other partner into doing whatever it is that they think they want in the moment. So yes, be committed to your relationship with a normal person. Every relationship goes through tough times. Every relationship at a certain point has growing pains. But psychologically healthy partners respect and care about the humanity of their partner. And as a base position, work to create safety and security within the relationship so that trust can be built. You know whether your partner is on that track or not. Sometimes these things emerge later. Sometimes you have to get to know somebody before you realize, what their issues are. In fact, very often you have to get to know somebody before you really have any inkling what their issues are. But once you see that someone is capable of, is sufficiently mature, is sufficiently stable, is sufficiently caring and empathetic to commit themselves, that's a person you can commit to, in a relationship you can commit to, and try to make work through thick and thin. If you don't see those signs, if you don't see those signs of stability and maturity, if instead you see signs of extreme selfishness, immaturity, sneakiness, dishonesty, weakness, you really need to think about whether you want to dig in or not. Okay, it's been swell. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks for the great discussion we had today. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for the comment. I do try to be interesting. George Miller, I'm doing the best I can. Thank you all for checking in, who've all given me a glance. Please like and share as Facebook encourages. Hi, Donna. And I'll be talking to you again tomorrow evening around this time. Good night now.